Okay, so hey everyone! Welcome to the I don't know what number of
I think
this
we're on
shit
5
show.
now.
My name's alphaeclipse. My co-host is Django Fett, and our guest speaker today is edolicious, also known as Edo or Idiot.
Excuse me, I'm actually the attorney representing Django Fett as they are currently being imprisoned for tax fraud.
Oh, damn. Not again.
And swearing on feral.heart.
Here, wait, let me just say we're live. Yeah, we did not plan this out, so.
Well, we were gonna, and we kind of did, but then, like, we have lives, very busy ones, so this is gonna be slightly hectic. I apologize in advance, but it shouldn't be too bad.
It'll work. We'll get it to work.
We have a special guest. The special guest is the feral.heart staff member that I got to beat up for my birthday.
Hell yeah.
Any last words?
No, not at all.
I see how it is.
Damn.
Alright, so, Edo, why
What's
did
up?
you want to come here today?
Bitch, I don't know. You said you want to come on the stream. I said sure.
Oh my fuck. Okay.
Edo was literally like, next time you have a stream, I'll be there.
Fuck you, Edo. Anyway, Edo,
What's up?
tell us a little bit about yourself. For those who might have lived under rocks, don't play feral.heart, or are actually 12 and can't read.
Jesus Christ. Okay. What do you mean about myself? What is there to say? I joined feral.heart back in like 2012. I joined the forums around like 2015, started getting more active. Left for like 2 years, and then out of the blue, Rez was like, hey, yo, you want to be a staff member? And I was like, dude, sure. Let me in there. That's it. That's how we got to this point.
Yeah.
Do you regret your actions at all?
No, I do not.
Yeah.
If I could do it all again, I would.
Shit. Now tell me, what was your experience as a staff member like?
Oh, boy. In the beginning, it was pretty hectic. I tried to do everything we were supposed to do. I tried to keep up with things, tried to do all that, but real life got in the way pretty fast. Joining forums was my first mistake, absolutely. I ended up screwing up my computer about a month and a half into my staff membership and such. So that put me out of commission for a while. Classes and such got in the way of things, so I wasn't able to do everything I needed to do there.
Yeah.
But overall, I would say my opinions on certain things should not be taken too seriously, because I would not put myself up there as the epitome of the perfect staff member, because I was never around. I don't know jack shit about what's going on. So that's there you go.
We were literally like, okay, so just, the reason we were so late starting the stream is because we did not, we got here really late, and we did not have time to make an agenda beforehand. So it'll be a little bit chaotic, like Django said, but, I said, let's use, things, like, from the forum to get it started, and Edo was literally like, I haven't been on the forum in, like, a while. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, you're gonna have to break those things up. I don't know what's going on.
So we'll just update, but, I think a good starting point is, on the 25th, nominations are supposed to end. I want to ask, how do you guys feel about having a 25 post minimum before you can nominate?
Django, would you like to go first?
Oh boy, would I ever like to go first, mommy. Alright, so my opinion is obviously very me because of who I am and what I've experienced, especially with feral.heart over the past, I don't know, 8 or so months, maybe more now. I personally don't really like how MOTS is structured. I think it should just straight up be the ambassador program it's become, and just don't call it MOTS anymore, because it really isn't. I have never really been a fan of the post count minimum because it ostracizes people that don't use the forums. And I understand that it's mostly a forum centric thing, but I don't think that dividing up the community like that, rewarding some for being helpful because they're able to write it out with a cute little signature, is more important than people who help out others in the game. I think that's, and I hate using this word, I think that's unfair. I also think that's kind of lazy, because instead you're just gathering them from a pool that you can easily access on your web browser, instead of going into the game and seeing these people for yourself.
I
One of them
completely
is
agree.
a lot. One of them is a lot harder, obviously, and probably a bit of a waste of time. But if you're gonna reward people for being helpful, quote unquote, do it right.
I completely agree. I have brought up several times in the past that I thought getting rid of the 25 post requirement would have been beneficial, considering there is literally no one on the forum anymore. Like, I've been just checking it at night, and there's literally like one person online. Like, even right now, I'm sure there's not that many. There's like 10. So, not only is there such a small pool to even nominate from, but there's just, what's the quality? Like, you need different people. Like, you have to have that for a good run, basically. Like, you can't have the same people over and over and over. I guess
Otherwise,
if the
you're just
community
gonna have
enjoys it,
old feral.heart.
yeah, I guess if the community wants that, you can't really do anything about it, but what percentage of the community is even voting to begin with? Literally, it's like 15 people, and you win mots.
It really is. And even as I just said, it's shitty, and it's the easy way out. Another thing from that is because the pool is so small, well, you are going to get the same people over and over again. And the only way to not do that is to take matters into your own hands, as we've already previously seen, in a very shitty manner. I am still better about that. You can suck my dick. Anyway. And yeah, actually, as Larry can just put it, the only actual point to being on the forums is to support the game, but even then, it's not that much support anymore because of how empty it is. I want you to, from just like a member you've never seen before, when was the last time you saw a useful, thought-provoking post? The one that wasn't inane, word vomit, or repetition from someone else.
That's actually a very good question.
This was actually something that was on my mind.
That's a
I haven't touched
question.
it in a while.
Because, I mean, okay, and I'm not here to toot my own horn, but like when Alpha posts or one of the old staff posts, I want you to note the words I'm using. I do mean them quite literally. It's typically a normal, well thought out, put together post that means well. But even from some staff members, all I see is 5 paragraphs that could be condensed into 2 sentences. It's a waste of time to read. It's word vomit, as I've already previously stated, is when you use so many words that you really don't need for the sake of padding out your post. Or it's just parroting something someone else said, and I see that on help threads a lot, which is surprisingly unhelpful. Who would have guessed? It's actually kind of why I hate going in the help section, is because someone either beat me to it first, or someone beat me to it, and then 3 other people thought they beat me to it as well.
I think that stems from the fact of, I don't remember where it was discussed, if it was here or if it was another server, but the fact of post count and how post count is glorified on the forums. I think one of my very first posts on the forum was something about, I remember the word insignificance, then saying, hey, us newbie members were almost looked at as if we're insignificant when it comes to that because of our post count. And people, of course, came on and said, oh, no, you're not. But we know.
In reality, you are.
You absolutely fucking are, and it kills me.
Yeah. then I'll God, it's a hell site, but I'll take Tumblr for example. Your follower count is now posted publicly, just like,
I think
and
that's
nobody knows,
great.
so everybody meshes together in a great way. And I think it should be the same way on the forums. Like, I will say back to Jesus, thunder outside, but I will say back to the 25 posts on Mott's. Sorry, staff team, I'm giving away things, but I
You're
don't
fine.
give a shit anymore. I was told when Raz was figuring out stuff with allowing Mott's to have access to other things so that they could help out more, I helped him out with that and used one of my alternate accounts to get up to the 25 post count. It's not that hard. I will say it's really not. It did not take me that long, but I think it was only beneficial back in the day when, like you said, the forums were more popular, more active, whereas now it's the same people over and over again. There's not really a point to it anymore, aside from keeping people for voting for themselves, but it doesn't really happen.
It doesn't attract any
It used to be a form of quality control, definitely back in the day, but now it's just kind of... It's not even really that it's off-putting, it's just kind of there for... It doesn't need to be. It's a...
Definitely.
It's an add-on. It's skin that needs to be shed.
Yeah.
It's dandruff you need to get rid of.
Which I will say is another thing. Certain old rules that now looking further into don't have a purpose anymore. They need to be reworked, gotten rid of, or whatever.
Like which rules?
Oh, like that one for one. Sorry again, because I know I keep bringing things up and I said I wasn't going to, but I hadn't watched the previous podcast for a while after it came out. I had one of the old staff members approach me and ask me if I had seen it, and I hadn't at that point, but I literally just watched it again 2 hours ago to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Oh my God.
God, where was I going with this? What was the question? Oh, old rules.
Mm-hmm.
The swearing rule.
Let the
Feral
kids say
Hearts.
fuck.
That one still makes me mad!
Yeah, Feral Hearts community now. Every single one of us, if we talk to each other outside of the game or forum itself, dude, we talk like trash.
Oh yeah.
And at this point, there's no corner of the internet you can go without being exposed to that thing, that kind of language, and people don't care about it anymore. So I don't think that rule is relevant anymore.
Honestly,
I think every couple of years or so, the rules need to be reworked to see what's still relevant and what's not.
To put on my pretentious cap, I'd say that's almost a generational thing now. Because now we've got them Zoomers coming in, and they're Fortnite swearing. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like hearing children swear. It's awkward to me. But at the same time, if you're not my child or I'm not like your babysitter or something, I don't give a fuck how you act, just so long as you're not shitting in the street or something. Especially on a place like the internet, you can only shelter kids for so long. And if you're allowing your child to go onto an MMO and you want them to not be around swearing, put them not on an MMO. Even on stuff like Animal Jam or Club Penguin. There's still some stuff that's questionable.
Wolf Quest, do you want to be my meat?
Don't say that. This is a Christian podcast.
Birdie Bitch asked, do you guys feel Feral Heart's swearing rule is even more vague than it was then? Like, it's looked down upon, seems so vague, and it doesn't help. LOL.
Yes. I hate that.
Yes.
I hate that.
I'm sorry, what?
How the rules were reworked, and as far as I know, they hybridize. Okay. Here, from what my understanding, they hybridized their own version of the rules and stuff that other now ex mods worked on as well. So it looks really jumbled. I also hate the formatting. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like it should be like a descriptor for like I don't know, like a World of Warcraft world, where it's describing all of the places and what you see there.
No, I agree. It's very,
and it doesn't look good. It's hard to read, and for someone like me, to where if I see a paragraph that has all of the sentences in it, my brain instantly dies. And I know I'm not alone in that, especially on a place like the Feral.heart forums where the colors are that way. It just doesn't. A, it doesn't feel like a Feral.heart thing. B, it doesn't look like a Feral.heart thing. C, you could tell it's a Feral.heart thing because it's shit.
God damn it.
Oh man.
Is this game rules or is this forum rules or is it both?
Game rules.
I think it's just the game ones. None of the forums are ever gonna get an update.
They said they
Game rules,
are eventually going to update them, but I have no idea when. I can't really say. I don't know.
God. Okay, to answer Birdie's question, I do think it is more vague than before. The frown down upon especially, because it's followed by doing so may result in a ban. I don't know if staff is watching or will be watching. I'm sure they will eventually. But, yeah, the wording of that should be changed up a little bit, because that almost sounds like, hey, sometimes we'll let you get away with it, sometimes we won't.
Yeah, especially.
And that's actually something else that I've been told. Sorry for cutting you off, Alpha.
Oh, you're fine.
Do you want to go or? Okay.
Oh well, I was gonna say,
But-
especially since you don't know which words are even allowed. Like you
That-
don't know which
and I
ones
was-
are bannable and which ones are only kickable.
Okay, actually, real quick. Starlight, Ninetail, Starlight. So are bans really separate from the game and the forums? Yes, but also no. Forum bans are slightly different than game bans, but I think there was a period of time where a game ban locked part of your forum profile, but I do not believe that is the case any longer, if it ever was. And the reason for that is because of this is going to be the segment where I call your ban policy is shit and you should feel like shit. Because okay, as Alpha was just saying, there's no list of blacklisted words. So what might be a swear word to you might not be a swear word to me. And here's a great example of it. For a very long time, my mom let me say whenever I wanted. She let me say fuck occasionally, but I was never allowed to say cunt. Cunt was the big, big, bad no-no word that I was not allowed to use. And it wasn't until that she became used to hearing the word cunt from stuff I'd watch on the TV, because, hello, Blu-ray player had YouTube, so I watched YouTubers that said cunt a lot. Once she got used to that, and I said it a few times, she became okay with it, because she got used to it. But originally, I would have gotten in trouble for saying cunt, because what might be a word that doesn't matter to me was a word that mattered to her. Now, you might say that because it's a mother-daughter relationship kind of thing going on, it's a little different. Well, it really isn't. Because here's something else. It's slightly controversial, but, you know, the N-word might be offensive to some people, and it might not be offensive to others. I personally think you shouldn't say it, but I'm not going to really stop anyone unless they're using it maliciously. Because, well, doesn't really affect me currently.
Yeah, there's a reason that one isn't allowed on the game, though.
Absolutely.
definitely.
Like, if it was allowed on the game, I would run in traffic instantly, because that would be too much. I think there should be a limit on let the kids say fuck, but don't say fuck, chick fuck. That just seems excessive to me.
Oh yeah.
Then again, I'm a classy bitch.
Sure, man.
Questionable.
Alright,
I kid.
Feral.heart staff, what's a kick? I'm so glad you brought that up.
Is that a legitimate question or a?
I think that's a mockery one, but I do.
Yeah, no worries.
I think we've mentioned it before, but there was a policy suggested. I don't believe it went through, of where kicks were a warning and bans were kicks. Be glad that didn't go through.
Wait. What is this?
Where a kick would equal as a warning and a ban would equal a kick.
Okay. When I was watching the former podcast, I know this was brought up, so I'm okay with bringing it up again. But that was to help track how many times somebody has been banned or kicked.
Yeah.
That's what that was for. And no, it didn't get implemented. I didn't agree with it personally. but that's what that was for.
I think if someone's kicked, you guys can just mark on their thing, like whatever you guys use, that they were banned for 0 minutes.
Mm.
Or something similar, like if that was possible. But like just for consistency, I guess.
Yeah. And that's why I don't think it was actually implemented.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, as somebody who had those permissions and was able to kick people, having to do it individually like that would have been a nightmare. You would not believe the amount of times people are kicked on this game.
Oh my god.
Which I will say, I know somebody in the last podcast also said kicks are a warning, but said it like mockingly, like, yeah, like that. And I used to have that mindset, but nowadays a kick is supposed to get your attention as a warning if you're not listening in game.
Mm-hmm.
If a mod whispers you and you don't listen, you're going to get kicked as a next step.
Well, obviously,
maybe.
that's the escalation of it. But
Exactly.
it shouldn't override the other. It's a stepladder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hold on. There was something else I was going to get to, but I forgot it. So I'm gonna. Oh, never mind. I remembered it now. This is about Torskite's question because it leads into what I was going to say originally. Is there any consistency to the severity of swear words within the staff team, or is it completely down to the individual staff member's feelings at the time? And as I said in the chat, as far as anyone is aware, it's the individual. Although it should be noted that there was an attempt, and I'm going to call it an attempt, to standardize how staff are supposed to function.
Mm.
I won't say I'm active on the game. I haven't been active in the game for a very long time, but I like to keep my ear to things, current events, very important. And from a few players, I don't really remember their names. I wouldn't name them anyway, honestly. Apparently, that inconsistency is still there even within the standard because for right now, mods are supposed to do 2-day bans no matter what the offense is, which I personally disagree with because I don't think that some of them are warranting of 2-day bans. But hey, if you're trying to standardize something, you're trying. But apparently some mods are allowed to ban for over that amount of time. And I'm not talking about global ones, although who fucking knows who's a global mod and who isn't anymore. Honestly, the global mod rank is still useless to me. You could meet me in the ring.
Mm.
And because of that, there really isn't a standard. And that kind of disappoints me because I was actually... Blue gave me hope when I think she was the one that said that they were going to be putting forth that policy before they announced it.
The MITs.
Blue was one of the new MITs, yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I don't know who any of those people are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I only know who... I mean, apart from the other people who were ex-mods, I know Blue from way back when because I saw them post on the forums or I saw them on games sometimes. Iris, I only ever saw on the TEC forums and sitting at Stonebridge AFK years ago. And that's something else, and I'm not sure we brought it up before. No one knows these people. And you could say that kind of also applied to the quote-unquote new crew mods from No Mod October, that they weren't really known, but I personally disagree there because, Edo, you were definitely around and got your name out there from when you were active. And the other people were posting actively up until No Mod October and even during it, which is why they were brought in the first place.
Mm.
But
yeah,
Blue
sorry,
only came back recently. I forgot Iris existed, and I think there's a third one, and I already don't remember their name.
I think that one is Vortex Alive.
And AIM.
I thought there was another one.
I don't know. I know personally the way No Mod October, the way Raz chose all of us is he was recommended from former staff or other helpful members of the community, people to be staff. And that's how we were all chosen. That's how he was like, hey, get in here. This is your responsibility now.
That survey was actually used.
But,
I'll take that as a no.
Wait, what?
Nothing. You're good. You're good.
Continue.
Okay. Blue, I had a couple good conversations with years ago. Me, Blue, Buffy. I remember that conversation. It was great. Blue, I know. Vortex has been actively posting to the forums for a while. I don't know him very well personally. We've never talked one-on-one. I don't know who Iris is, but other people seem to know her. And then again, I haven't been paying attention to many feral.heart related things for a while, so. But I was someone who literally had not been on the game in months, probably around half a year at the point where Raz was like, hey, do you want to join the staff team?
Jesus.
So, yeah, at that point, I'd think that with people like that, I don't know them, but I'm sure they used to be helpful. If there's a reason for them coming back, I don't know. I don't know if the team themselves picked them or if they're more people that were handpicked by Raz. But
I know it was I think it was Ressi that individually picked them.
Okay.
Because they're on her team.
That's something else. I think I'm not the only one alone in this. I don't like not knowing things, and I don't think I'm the only one in this community that also doesn't like not knowing how staff are selected. I believe a while ago there had been a post about maybe mentioning how staff are selected, but it never went anywhere if it was actually a post that existed. And because here's the thing, there's been this thing circulating around, and I honestly kind of believe it myself, of where people think that staff are selected because they are friends with the old team. And the only thing to break that was Nobot October, when it was a fresh batch of staff, most of them not even really knowing each other or friends at the time. And now we all know now we know how you guys were selected. The original thought had just been because you guys were trustworthy, which was the case.
A horrible decision, really.
Truly. And I think it was because you guys didn't have attachments to the staff that kind of made that rumor die down. But now we're back to where it was before, where no one knows anything, no one is saying anything, and they all seem to be parroting the same words.
I'm not really sure how you would go about fixing that. I know there was the suggestion of mod applications, and do I think there should be a different way of choosing staff? Yes. But do I think it should be mod applications? No. Like we say, we don't want things to be biased, but still, when it comes to that, staff is still in charge of picking and choosing which applications are going through. So that if you really want things to be non-biased like that, I don't think it would work. And when it comes to choosing new staff, because obviously I was never involved with choosing any new staff aside from Calvary, which I'm sorry, man, but I don't know how to pronounce your new name.
We went over this.
Truevale?
I'm not even gonna try. But aside from her, and she was a special case because she didn't have a choice in the matter. We said, no, you're on the team now, get over here. The only new staff while I was on the team was people who were returning, who had been staff before, so it was just a matter of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. I was going somewhere with that and lost it. Being on the team itself, I know people talk about brown nosers, bootlickers, suck-ups a lot when it comes to that. I will say you don't have to worry about people like that, because when you are on the staff team, it is so incredibly easy to tell who's doing that and who's trying to be genuine. Like that's pretty forward,
but considering we can tell half the time, like anyone can just go on the forum and be like, this person's not really genuine, or this person is genuine. Like it's just
There you go.
Like,
Yeah.
of course, like, you can get mixed up sometimes, but it's very few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about
Ooh.
Lucius coming back as
Lucius?
a Lucius. Oh my god.
Honest to God, that dude is probably one of the most level-headed people I know.
Yeah, I know,
He's
right?
probably I think he's a fantastic choice to stay on staff, especially after the whole debacle of all the
Yeah.
drama going on there. I never once saw him take sides during any of the arguments that were happening. I saw him, even though he was closer with us on, I'll say newer staff, he was closer with us because he was newer staff. And honestly, he's one of my good buddies now. I still talk to him constantly.
Yeah.
But he never took sides. He was always super level-headed and always tried to help everyone see the reasoning behind things, which I have no qualms whatsoever with him being on the team.
That's what a staff member should be. It shouldn't be like necessarily picking sides, or it should be going to what they feel is right for the community. And of course, there have to be decisions that are going to be difficult, like what's best for the staff team in regards to moderating. But in the end, like, it should be what's best for the game, even if the community doesn't necessarily agree with it.
I will say that has happened a lot. There's always been several different choices of how things could go forward, and the main 2 or 3 being those that the community probably would not be behind at first.
Yeah.
But later on,
yeah, that's obvious. Like, and people should understand that always. Like, it's not done necessarily for the community now, but it's done for the far future. Like, what's going to keep the game alive?
Ooh.
How do you feel about...
Speak of the devil.
Oh, wait, continue.
No, I was talking. I see that same thing. I still can't pronounce her name. Go ahead.
Oh. How do you feel about Lucius coming back as an MIT?
Did he come back as an MIT?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. I feel kinda... That makes me a little bit iffy. I thought he came back as a full staff. You can't come in... And I'm sorry, I'm gonna flip back and forth here. And I know I said I wasn't gonna talk about certain things, but you can't say, oh, hey, you old staff to new staff, you have to let us come back to our old positions and let us come back to the team. And we said, okay. But then when something like this happens, you have Lucius come back as an MIT. Unless he specifically requested to, because I know I wanted to sort of act as an MIT in my early days as a mod.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what the hell was going on half the time.
Yeah, you guys were just kind of thrown in. Like...
Yeah, but if he specifically asked for it, then I guess it's fine. But if he was forced back to being an MIT, especially when he has a good head on his shoulders and kind of, at least from my perspective, knew what he was doing, I have... Oh, speak of the devil, who's this? Okay, Lucius actually just messaged me. Hey, buddy. He said he only came back as MIT because new roles weren't set properly. Are there new roles?
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Because, it was just kind of figured that it was forced on him, like, in a way, like, I guess. Because,
What new staff roles could you be talking about, sir? Please explain.
They probably can't say.
I do know the one thing. I was keeping an eye on it when, even though I said I was going to back out of ferral.heart. I promise, this stream is my final hurrah. I'm done with it after this. But I did read the post where Rez said, old staff and new staff operate completely separately now.
Oh.
So Lucius just said staff rooms are split now.
Yeah.
Wait.
There is no interaction between...
No, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, I know there's no interaction between the teams for the most part, but then aren't those roles already preset?
You are asking the
Because
wrong person.
I mean, I know, I'm speaking to the dead air, basically, but
Okay.
they've had these teams split for
Oh yeah,
a month or so now.
and their roles are the same. So
yeah, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense.
well, you have to remember, what if Raz can individually take a user and then add them to a board?
Hmm.
So
What?
that would
Ah!
like you're thinking, okay, the staff board, the only way you can see it is with either the staff role or when we were what's it called? Mots. So if he uses the roles to add permissions on what they can and cannot see, then yeah, they should be seeing the same stuff. Unless
Make a roll. Team A, Team B, have the permission set to the certain rooms. Done.
Yeah, unless he does it individually by name.
Well, if he does it
Lucius said
individually,
if
he's a fucking boomer.
Lucius said if he got a certain role, he would see the other team's staff room, which I guess is something that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So I guess things are still in the works.
Yeah.
There you go.
How long
But
does it take
that
for an
still
old
makes
man
no
to
sense,
fix a
because
Discord?
that means the current teams, even though they're split, can see each other's things.
Actually, Blue has mentioned that they've talked to the other team before. I remember that. I remember now. I think it was Blue, and someone else has also mentioned that they've just talked to other. So they're not.
Well,
Oh my!
I would
fuck.
expect
Okay.
socializing is fine. I'm
Yeah.
talking on the business end of things. I don't think they're
I
supposed
am
to
too.
clash heads there.
Okay, so Lucius coming back. If that's. I fucking hate the fucking politics of this game. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you. This doesn't make any sense, and this seems more needlessly complicated than it needs to be.
Mm.
I think I understand what the purpose of it is. I just don't understand why it wasn't done when Raz was on the forum and split the teams initially. Like, this shouldn't. It's going on for too long. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Your mic is cutting out super bad. I have no idea what you just said.
Damn.
Mm.
Hopefully the stream on my end was able to hear everything. I think they were.
It probably is, because it's picking up your mic. We're picking up a broadcast.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Lit. But yeah, that's a little weird. Oh my god.
Is it done?
Yes.
Alright. Sorry, you guys are about to see an absolute masterpiece that I've been working on in the background.
While we're on that topic, Des actually sent in a question like 10-15 minutes ago that we just completely
Oh my god,
zoomed
I didn't
over.
realize, sorry.
She said, how do you guys feel about the new MOTS rule about former staff being unable to be nominated?
I think that's stupid, and it's only done for a very specific and shitty reason.
I know I've said before, like, Django, calm down, buddy, but on this instance, I agree with you. Even if it wasn't intended to be like that, Raz specifically said to us, you don't get to, because we were worried about some troublesome people becoming MOTS and having access to things that staff were discussing, because they'd be more involved with things. And Raz specifically said to us, you didn't get to control who becomes a member of the season. That's something up to the community, and we don't get to work around that. And the fact that you are now going back on that because you don't like somebody who's helping around the community,
That's ridiculous.
is extremely backhanded. And I think because especially we always say staff are members of the community too, and that's 100% absolutely
well, yeah,
true.
of course.
So staff, I can see why current staff should not be nominated for
Well, obviously, because they
member
don't
of the season.
need
Exactly.
that. Especially since, as I've said a couple times before, MOTS is now an ambassador program. You don't elect a native to be an ambassador to his own country.
There you
That
go.
doesn't make any sense.
And sorry, skipping back and forth again, Vortex said they can't see the same stuff at the moment because the second team is all MIT right now. As far as he knows, they
good.
don't have
Yeah,
any other
okay.
roles.
That
I was
makes
gonna
We
put
are
this in
allowed to
questions
talk.
as well for the stream. I still think that's stupid and a very poor structuring from a Discord setup standpoint. I know it's a lot coming from me. If any of you have ever seen the pool, don't go there. It's bad.
Bad.
But yeah, that's dumb. It also doesn't make sense why he'd be in MIT on the forums, unless that they also mean the permissions for there. But then why would you start something and then not finish it and then just leave it half baked, just like the forums? Oh
I'm
wait,
sure they're working through something.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but at the same. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm completely fucking apathetic to anything going on with feral.heart right now.
Oh, no. You and me both.
Yeah, I kind of feel that.
This may be a dumb question, but what exactly does the new MOTS role do in terms of staff communication? Boy, am I glad you asked that question. Well, original. No! No! Bad! Giga! Bad! Giga! Don't! I'm gonna fucking delete the pool right now. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, so actually, fuck it. I'm not gonna be able to stop that. Whatever. Anyway, so basically, what MOTS, when I was a member of the season for a period of time that people wish to forget, even though I will never let them forget. So basically, MOTS were supposed to I said that too many times, pass along information from staff to the community and from the community to the staff team, and they basically acted as either ambassadors or, in reality, secretaries, sometimes in a more literal sense. Towards the latter end of my time as a MOTS, we were instructed to create a MOTS newsletter, which I knocked out of the park in under an hour and a half. I'd just like to point that out. I also wrote it by myself. I absolutely did not. The instant I was told I could do it, I did it.
Okay.
Look, man, 100 words a minute. I can do that.
I can do that.
Go for it.
Fucking insane. I'm fucking insane. Anyway, and it was basically just that you were the middleman in a game of telephone.
Yeah.
And that was, if you ever saw the priorities thread, you'll know. So the MOTS proposal was a thing for a while, but no MOTS were really made super aware that they were supposed to be acting as ambassadors because they weren't directly told that, and it was just done in a weird way. I understand the MOTS proposal now. I still think part of it's a little weird because it's such a far jump from what MOTS used to be, where it was literally just, oh, people like you.
Here's a badge.
Basically, it
Take
was a
this
literal
award.
popularity. It was a literal popularity contest.
Definitely.
Yeah. Also, I just like to point out, I still want to go back and edit that newsletter to this day because I just want to shorten the one with .1 because it could just literally say that instead of because we think it's most important. Whoever suggested that, I'm gonna throw Lego at you. I don't even remember who did. Vortex, if that was you, I'm coming for your ass. But yeah, that was basically it. The issue with that was, or at the very least, the issue that I had and the original MOTS that were with me had, is staff wouldn't talk to us. I would pitch a question and I could wait a few hours.
God, I know.
A few days. A week sometimes. I think a week was the worst one. And it was very hard to do my job of pitching messages, forwarding messages, basically, if I couldn't get an answer on the other end. Which is why that priorities thread was made. It wasn't that MOTS weren't upholding their job in the MOTS proposal. It's that we literally couldn't. Because we either didn't get an answer or were told that an answer couldn't be put forward at that time. And while I can understand that, but I can understand that if you do that every so often, because there are some times where you do just have to wait for an answer because you don't have it yet. Something isn't ready. But when you hear it over and over and over again, that starts to make me think either you're not working on it or the answer is so bad that if you put it forward, people are going to have a fit. Because
I completely
it's
zoned
not...
out. Can you repeat that whole sentence?
So basically, I'm baby. Basically what I said is it's hard to be an ambassador to a place that doesn't talk to you. It's hard to be diplomatic if one side is willing to talk and the other isn't. And I will not let anyone, no matter who they are on the staff team, current or otherwise, say that wasn't an issue, because it was. And I'm pretty sure all of us can agree that communication has always been an issue between the community and the staff team. And the mots, I mean, apart from the fact that there aren't any mots right now, so there are no no current representatives of the community elected by the community. I know that the Automots thing is going on currently, but it's still... What happened was shitty, and what's going on is even shittier because now there's just no voice in the community that they're directly listening to, apart from the MITs that listen to this podcast. And I'm specifically saying MITs because I know no moderate will listen to this podcast after the other one.
Or they will.
They never listen to it
specifically
beforehand.
for that reason.
Yeah, they will.
I hope they do.
I'm sure
even
they
though
will.
I was told by some of the mods that they will no longer listen to it, even though I'm pretty sure didn't listen to the ones before it either.
Or only listen to the part where we're quote unquote talking
to be fair,
trash.
I didn't listen to any of the podcasts
Well, still, that's fine.
I know, and that's fine, but I don't like it when people pretend like they've been there the entire time when they obviously weren't. So when they hear some of these things without the build up to it, it's a little skewy. And you know what, Vortex? I appreciate you.
You're a G, Vortex. We love you.
I think your avatar is fucking terrifying, but you alright.
You alright.
Alright, sorry, Wilder Cat. Follow-up question. Actually, Starlight, we're gonna probably cut this short, so I don't think we're gonna have a Q&A section. It'll depend on how we are at the end of this. Very sorry about that. I meant to say that at the beginning.
Blame me. Then... It's all me. Just put the blame entirely on me.
Wilder Cat's follow-up question. Do you think that since the Mott's role has changed so much, it has to be selected a little differently? Or separated into a different role? Like Mott's is an honorific and a separate community ambassador role. I think it should be one or the other, personally. I don't think that there should be both. Because then Mott's will just go back to being a popularity contest and will be absolutely more meaningless than it was beforehand.
I agree, and there would most likely end up being a rule saying if you've been elected for Mott's, you can't be elected for the community ambassador role, which would minimize your options of who to vote in.
Let's just shrink the pool even more, why don't we?
Yeah, that's my main issue with that. But yeah, the Mott's being selected differently, I think, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
I still think that okay, I'm just going to call them community ambassadors should be elected by the community because they're going to directly represent the community at that current point in time, and they will be deemed by the community as the best voice to do the job, or voices, since it's... I'd still say have there be 3 people. Apart from my case, most of the time, Mots are of one mind, better of the community, and although they might differ in some areas, it's just so they can support one another and be able to rely on each other. There will definitely be instances of where that is not the case, and there might be an odd man out. Hello?
Hi, Django!
Hey, buddy.
My name is Django, and I fucking hate chairs.
But when you're Mots, there's sort of like a silent agreement that you're there to help each other, even though that's not necessarily the point of Mots now. It's to have a sort of political debate as to what should be added and what should be changed. But how can you do that if you're being ignored?
Or stomped on.
I'm very,
on me harder,
I feel
mommy.
I am very cynical. Or, not cynical, I should say... realistic about the treatment anymore. Like, I Like, I'm not even gonna be nice about it anymore. I'm just very annoyed. I'm disappointed. And it's sometimes very pathetic how people are being treated when they have no problems in reality. Like, people should be able to say, even if it's bad, negative things about staff. And I don't necessarily agree with all of them, and I'm not going to say everything I'd like to say, but it's, like, it shouldn't be hated on. Like, we're not monsters. Like, that really angers me that you can be called out and not take that appropriately.
Which I guess
I'd like to highlight that by what was put in. Oh, where did I even put it? While I'm finding this, Edo, you can say your thing, then I'll say my bit.
Dude, I completely blanked out.
And
You should know how my mind works.
Scroll up an agenda and dates until you see screenshots. I'd like to highlight that in terms of appropriate responses. Now, I'm gonna come forward with something that might be shocking to you.
Wait, what is it?
Me? Who?
I'm hard to get along with. I
Really?
can be fairly... I am very opinionated, and I'm very loud about my opinions. I am blunt. I try to be as honest as I can. And I can be very off-putting. However, I don't want that to be misconstrued as hostility. Or maliciousness. I do not directly wish harm on people in this community. And I feel, especially when I was MOTS, I was definitely seen as the bad guy. Or at least at the very least, it feels like I was. And to jump off of what you were saying, Alpha, what I have been saying before I was MOTS, when I was MOTS, and now after, it is not done because I want to see this game burn. I care so much, and I say these things because I don't want it to. I might say things on occasion, or very frequently, like, fuck, I hate feral.heart. I say that because I love it so much that I am so disappointed, and it hurts me to see it like this. Because this is just an animal game for children, and it is being treated like some fucking furry retreat center for adults. When it isn't! And it shouldn't be used as a small game of fucking Politico or whatever. It should not be in the condition it is. And I still do not understand how we've gotten here.
Well,
and it pains me because it feels like I've wasted almost a decade of my life on something that just wanted to chew me up and spit me out, along with my friends, because they tried to help.
That is one of the things I have an issue. There is no final check of power when it comes to. I mean, I guess you could say so. Whatever Rez says goes, but it's extremely frustrating when Rez starts to take sides on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, man. If you ever listen to this, you're a pleasure to talk to. But, man.
Raz, you're a fucking disappointment.
Oh my god, Jane.
He's not. Well, some things I disagree with strongly, but I wouldn't go as far as saying he's a disappointment.
The only thing I'm disappointed
in
is the lack of... The only thing I'm disappointed in is the lack of communication and the lack of being upfront about what he's doing at the time. Because lack of communication leads to confusion and leads to conclusions that are not true. And they can be easily cured if you just talk to people. That is why I say I am disappointed in him. I think he's an alright guy, but he needs to work on the talking.
In all honesty, he does not owe us anything. Neither does staff, really. Like, they don't need to tell us anything. but the fact that your game is dying because of dumbass decisions that are being made sometimes, in the past even, like,
Actually,
maybe
I'll be
there's
straight
something
up.
wrong there.
I'll be straight up. That statement is wrong. They do need to talk to the community. They don't want to. There
That's
is a
obvious.
difference. There is a difference between necessity and want, and it is all throughout history. Those have been misconstrued from one another, and that has always been something that I've disagreed with on staff when I was a MOTS. We don't need to tell you anything. Then why are we here? Why is the MOTS proposal thing?
Yeah, I
And why
agree with
is
that,
everyone
actually.
screaming for you to say literally anything?
To literally just make yourselves
And I will
Just say what you're doing.
Exactly. And
The
I will
fact
say
that there Actually, I'll let you
Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
brain dead,
The fact- The
Uh.
fact that they're not saying anything is suspicious. And I'm not saying it's because they're hiding something, even though that's definitely been a case in the past, and it might still be now, but we don't know because there's nothing being said.
Everything is hush hush.
Oh,
And it doesn't
yeah,
need to be.
exactly. And I remember what I was going to say. Sorry.
It's okay.
Going back on the needs to talk to the community but doesn't want to thing, you can't, and this is me speaking directly toward them, you guys, if they watch, you guys need to take the bad with the good. Because you can't expect to go out there and hear only good things, maybe one critique or two. If somebody's going on a full-on rant on things they think need to be changed about the game, you still need to listen to it. Take the rude comments aside and take the facts out of that. And just be like, okay, this is what needs to be done. That's how you operate a game. That's all I have to say. That part frustrates me.
Vortex knows. I got antsy the other day because I replied to something that I felt was totally inappropriate. That's the fact that
fuck that.
I'm not gonna mention like what it was or who, but I don't care what someone says negative about the game. If you can't if you can't respond appropriately, not even appropriately, professionally, and be like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah, we're willing to look over your opinions, blah 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 blah. Like, don't be a bitch about it. I'm sorry, but it's just so unnecessary, and it looks so bad on the rest of the staff team and the community itself. Like,
It is a video game about animals aimed at literal children. You do not have to be a dick.
I agree. And I will also say there's a difference between taking a negative comment like that and trying to use it to further the game. And again, going back to the other podcast, I probably shouldn't be referencing it so much because
you're
of
fine.
everything that came from
What
that.
are they
Yeah.
gonna do?
But
What are they gonna do? Sue you?
man, I hope. But there's a difference because I know it may sound hypocritical for me to stand here and say, oh yeah, take the good stuff out of what somebody's saying as aggressive criticism, and then go back and say with certain things Des put up with when somebody would say something about her. Because there's a big difference between, Jesus Christ, why is work calling me? But I'm not answering that. And yeah, there's a difference between somebody coming after you personally and criticizing aspects of you and putting you down, and somebody doing that about a game. And that's all I'm going to say to try and get rid of or at least step above what may be me sounding like a hypocrite here. Can work please calm down and stop calling my phone?
Shit.
Could you please calm down?
You're being too loud. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Somebody said, Raz allegedly has a family and life yet can't let go of his grip over a children's game he really doesn't do anything for. Do I agree with this? No.
No.
First of all, I know it was brought up on the other podcast talking about his personal life in specific aspects. I don't think that even needs to be brought up. I don't think there's anything there to do with that.
I think there's a joke about him being a dad. That's all I can remember.
I don't think it matters whether
It
or
really
not he
doesn't.
is.
He's just
I
the
don't-
server master.
He's the
What's
server
to us?
master. But on the second half of that, can't let his grip over a children's game he really doesn't do anything for. I don't know where you're getting your information, buddy, but Raz is literally the one piece of this entire game that is absolutely necessary. You get rid of Raz, there is no game. You can get rid of staff, you can get rid of the forums. Hell, you can still get rid of the server itself and still have the forums. But
Wouldn't
Raz is the one.
necessarily.
You know what? Don't trash on my
No,
rant. What are you talking about?
His role is what's a necessity. The man in the role is still a necessity, but not as big as the role of server manager.
Raz can be replaced, yes, and I can't speak for him, but if he would want to, I'm sure if he does want to, he's trying to look for people, but look at how many times this dude has been backstabbed since the beginning of IT up until now. I'm talking even by us on the news staff team with certain things being leaked and that being our fault. We stabbed him in the back on that. He can't trust people right now, and I don't blame him for it.
Yeah.
We've all been.
Yeah.
So there is no one right now who is texting me. Continue. That's it.
And that's on both
Send
sides,
tweet.
new and old staff.
I really just don't.
Yeah.
I know this is a lot coming from me, from people that know me personally, but I don't understand hanging around people that have continuously stabbed you in the back, or working with them even. I also don't entirely understand. Yeah. There's something else. I understand that Raz is a very busy man, but if he doesn't, I'm gonna bring this up because it's been brought up so many times. It might as well be a dead horse now. The state of the forums is entirely on him. If he isn't willing to put in the work, and I think they're calling in another coder finally after 4 years free of it being like this. If you're not willing to put the work in to finish something, don't do it. Find someone else that's willing, and if you don't want to put in the effort of making sure that this game is running properly, and are instead sometimes having these public, seemingly angry outbursts and passive-aggressive posts, you shouldn't be here. Because, again, this is a kid's game, and it shouldn't be run the way it is.
I don't even think he needs to be talking to the community. His admins and staff are supposed to be doing that. I think he needs a team or admins or something that can actually do forum work and have background in these fields.
You know what? Yeah, I couldn't care less, but somebody was working on cleaning up the forums.
Yeah.
And I would assume now, because that person is no longer around, that they're trying to do that. I would assume. And I'm not going to get too far into that, otherwise I'll get angry and rant.
I think it was brought up on a podcast before, but yeah. I like how all of the people doing utility are gone now, apart from Lucius.
Yeah.
That feels great. Alright, hold on, let's look at the questions.
Nothing
really weird about adults enjoying FH as long as they conduct themselves properly around younger players. Yes, although I'm not gonna lie. Like 30-something-year-old playing feral.heart just weirds me out on principle because you have nothing better to do. Why?
Are you talking about Raz in this case?
No, I'm just talking about.
Because I was gonna say
in general.
he doesn't play it. I
haven't seen Raz on feral.heart since 2013.
I saw him when the update came out once.
I can understand staff coming back because, especially with this game almost being 10 years old, that means they were not much older than I am right now when they first found it out. And look at me, I'm just getting out of it right now, so of course they may have had interest in it at this age. But we all know it's almost impossible to leave this game. I'm doing my best. We'll see how that works out. But they managed to get themselves into a position where they want to try and help further the game. And even if that comes with a lot of drama, they're still trying to do things to what they think is right.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen many 30-plus-year-olds on here actually interacting with any little kids or anything. They're mostly just trying to make
I wasn't even
game a better
referring to
place.
that. It was just, I don't know, just
general.
that idea. That idea just, it brings a weird image to mind. And I mean, I'm not gonna say like, oh, if you're over 30, get off my game. I mean, I've played with 28-plus-year-olds on fucking Gary's Mod or fucking shooty shooter McBang Bang game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a game like Feral.heart. I just don't quite get it.
Yeah.
I also do want to stress that the part that I agree with that statement most is as long as they conduct themselves properly. I don't even mean like not diddling little kids. I mean like acting their age and being mature adults. Which, personally, is not something I typically see on this game from anyone, myself included. The only person I can say has conducted themselves maturely eternally are you and Alpha.
Oh, that's
And-
cute.
Ah, that's gay.
Okay, look, I'm not including the fucking zoo trip because obviously that's not Feral Heart related. You're a fucking animal, you know. You're fucking disgusting.
Yeah, that was great.
Man.
Starlight, yeah, you're all right. Don't come to
Starlight's
school
great.
tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Whoa,
Okay.
Django.
Remember how
I'm
we
sorry,
talked
I
about
can't make jokes. I can't
taking
make jokes.
certain things too far? This is what I meant.
Django is in joke jail.
Yeah, you are.
Django, you
Alright,
just
anyway.
belong in jail in general.
That's gonna be the next fucking background. Just fucking Django.
Django
Django
in
fat in
jail.
Alcatraz.
Yes. Oh man, that'd be perfect.
Alright, but this is channel about to be banned. I hope not. Anyway, Birdie bitch. I said this on the priority side and I will say it again, screaming it to the motherfucking moon in the high mountains. You can't afford to keep things away when your game is dying. And
I agree. And you
couldn't
also
be more
can't
right.
afford to. I'm sorry, I'm starting to get heated again. This is the one thing that got people in trouble, and now I'm doing it. But you can't afford to take highly esteemed members of the community and attack them.
Yeah, people that.
And then get upset that your community is upset with you. You can't do that. You have to expect that kind of thing. And you don't get to be upset when the truth comes out that you were treating that person like shit. You don't get to be upset about that because you were in the wrong on that. I'm sorry. I need to stop now before I go into it because that whole situation
Please
pisses me
allow
off.
me.
Um,
Ito took the word straight out of my mouth, and I'm about to fucking add more to that.
I don't know if we should do that.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
does.
know.
Just a tiny bit.
Just don't be very specific. Just.
When you do something bad behind closed doors and then use the excuse of because it was behind closed doors that makes it okay, that tells me that there's something wrong with transparency. I'm not gonna lie. Because just because a sin is done in the dark doesn't mean no one's gonna see it or hear about it later. Because, let's be real, nothing in Feral Heart stays secret forever.
Yeah. And that's, I'm sorry, going on, God, I keep saying I'm not going to, but then I keep getting more upset about things. The punishments that were given out for the former podcast, that pissed me off. I listened to the podcast several times at this point. I literally have a list of all the things that were supposedly revealed in that podcast. Fox's punishment, her only mistake was expressing that she was frustrated,
Yes.
and she didn't silence Des. She never gave away specifics on things. She only said that she could verify what Des was saying. She was constantly a pleasure to work with, and like personal bias aside, and without meaning to sound demeaning to any of the other staff, she was one of the most involved staff that I have seen ever. The fact that she's not able to return to staff because of a podcast she was on
is ridiculous.
Honest to
No,
God,
so, like-
one of the dumbest decisions I've
And
ever
I'm
seen.
not even saying that from my, like, because of my perspective, like, being on the podcast and knowing her, but She brought back so many events, like the movie night, the radio. She was always in game when she could be. And she was so open. Like, she was genuinely active. Like, why would you get rid of that? Like, I don't get it.
You can't afford to push these people away, especially when they've done nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I dislike
And,
how I wasn't punished.
I will say, Django, I think your punishment is probably the only one that was a little bit warranted because of for 2 years, absolutely not. I think that's extreme. But the ban from Mott's for going a little bit over the top with insults and stuff, that much I can see. Sorry, dude.
I was demoted for a terrorist joke, so I have to disagree.
Yeah, I would demote you for that too. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. But
Fuck you, Edel. You fucking twink.
now,
You're
but
fucking tiny.
Des on the other hand, and this isn't just, this is a little bit of my personal bias getting into it, but this is mostly me trying to say things from the outside.
Yeah.
Des was fired up by emotions during the podcast, and that got the best of her. But the things she revealed were only things that pertained to her experience, and they were all mostly things that were denied, that were not going to happen anymore, so it wasn't spoiling things for the future. She gave specifics to arguments that had happened that involved scrap plans, but she never mentioned anything in the works, and even though I tried to stay out of it when it was happening, dude, I can confirm Des was pushed to the brink, but she still apologized every single time, which infuriates me because she was the only one to ever apologize, and that's something we have screenshots of. She apologized publicly several times and privately. As far as I know, she's yet to receive one back. On a personal level, I'm going to say I'm upset that Cal was punished for getting things off her chest, obviously, because she's a friend now. But even on a professional level, it's like infuriating to see her permanently banished from a team with all the work that she put into it and how much she loves the game. Like, even, okay, you know what? I have to give them this. Old staff have a passion for this game that I admire a ton, even though at this point I've completely lost that passion myself. Cal shared that same passion. I don't know if she still does, but she shared that exact same passion. And we allowed them to return to their positions after No Mod October because everyone knew they had experience under their belts and we knew they still had a passion for their game. And that was after releasing a huge secret for people to physically test out themselves as an intentional step against Raz himself. And I know that everything's done with that now. I know. I'm not going to bring up No Mod October again after this. But I think literally the only word I can think of is it's downright stupid that Des was banished from a team for speaking about her difficulties, not giving things out for people to try out themselves, and especially when the team she would be on now if she were to rejoin isn't even interacting with the team she had issues with, whereas we allowed old staff back despite the things they'd done. If they're not listening now, I hope they'll listen at some point. So all I'm asking is for them to try to consider the point that I'm making here. I'm sorry, I'm pissed. Rant over.
You're fine.
Send. Okay. I'm not talking about Alp because that bitch got away clean. She's fine.
I don't understand. I literally was the one that streamed the freaking podcast. Like,
it's because you're not the one that has your name on it, I guess, which doesn't make sense.
That doesn't. I understand Raz noticed that I said like I didn't want it to go that far or whatever, but I was still involved. Like, I was still directly promoting the speaking out, I guess, which I think is inappropriate, especially considering the messages I got from staff, current staff, specific ones that I'm not going to mention afterwards.
It's funny how you got messages from staff. I think I got a message from maybe one, but you got from like most of the team, right?
No, I only got maybe like 3.
It's still kind of weird.
It made me very angry because
fuck you, Ito.
I tried to approach some of them in like a kind fashion, like thinking like, hey, like I know like it's hard, like no one wants to be talked shit on basically, or even like criticized, but the responses I received were not warranted. They were just inappropriate in my opinion. Like what? Like, oh my god, the one I'm thinking of specifically was just insane. And the fact that I can't contact a good amount of the staff anymore is hilarious to me.
You get a block, good sir.
Yeah.
You
It makes me upset, even if it weren't you guys, because you guys know I love you. I mean, I don't, but you know.
No,
Fuck you know.
People have been screaming about staff and staff secrets on DeviantArt journals, on Tumblr, on every place known to mankind. And this is the one that is being zoomed in on, which it bugs me.
And I think it's funny. I forget who linked it, but we found out there was a Reddit for feral.heart, and someone linked
there's
the
a subreddit.
podcast. We thought it was so funny. Like, we never even knew that existed, but apparently that's a medium too. So, God knows
Woof.
where else
feral.heart
it's being screamed
subreddit
about.
is about as dead as the forum.
Oh yeah.
No, hold on. There was something I wanted to say real quick before I jump into another question.
Mm-hmm.
On that topic of taking criticism, you know,
What do you
I
want?
know I just know I kind of like casually like, oh, the terrorist joke thing. I don't say I completely agree, because I still, as you said, my punishment was overreaching. I do understand part of why I was taken out back the way I was.
Taken out back, oh my god.
I mean, I really was. Am I wrong? No, I'm not.
This
But
bitch crippled. Shoot
and I
him.
can
Like a racehorse.
This bitch crippled. Shoot him.
Like a racehorse.
God. The glue factory.
anyway, and even though it hurts, I kind of agree, and I have an issue with toning myself down, but that's just part of who I am, and it's something I've been working on for a bit. I'd also like to point out that in case you are inept, this is me taking criticism, digesting it, and trying to implement it to myself. Did I scream at Edo? Not really.
Why not?
Yell.
Did I
Do it.
call
don't
Edo names? Not really.
Not now.
Yeah, not now.
Did I maliciously lash out at Edo for daring to criticize me? No. This is what we call being an adult. Try it.
Oh. Damn.
Sometimes you give me goosebumps.
Yeah, honestly. Holy shit.
Wilder Cat said, if you had a say, what would you do to bring some life back into the forum/game? That's
Open the fucking registration.
See, I tried. Well, that for one.
Moses
but
killed
he did. I tried at one point to advertise feral.heart a little bit more, and I had the brilliant idea of, oh hey, my friend knows this YouTuber who has 100,000+ subscribers.
You fool!
Yeah, that was on me.
Oh.
My bad. But
Hey, Spoctor, I don't know who you are, but my little sister watches you, so that's cool.
there is an official YouTube channel. I don't know how often it's used because I've only seen it once, but
I've only seen
making more advertisements on that I think would help.
Also,
There's only so much you can do without
hire an
spending money.
editor or find someone willing to put effort into the videos, because I'm not gonna lie, the one for I think it was a summer party showing off the map, it could have been condensed into 1 minute and a lot less needed to be said.
I haven't seen any of them. I can't say anything.
I couldn't finish it. I mean, maybe I'm just a bitch, but like, it was not greatly structured.
I will also say, in terms of, oh my god, somebody just DM'd me and agreed with me. I didn't even say it yet.
Buffering.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
But
fuck.
in terms of changing the game, restarting the staff team. If some of the old team gets to be back on it again afterwards, so be it. They've proven themselves worthy to be on it again. but I think the team needs to be 100% completely restarted from scratch. And that's that on that from me.
I initially disagreed with that strongly. I don't think anyone should be thrown out, per se. I just think they should be reworked as to how they go about doing things.
More
However,
staff rules as well, yes.
At this point, I don't even know. Like, it's just such a shit show. I just think it's funny. Like, it's honestly comical how...
Okay, you don't get to say that, but then tweak every time you can't get on the game. I'm gonna kick your ass.
True. I tweak out every time I can't get on the game.
I've already said my opinion on the staff team. I don't need to say it again.
Like, I respect the staff team. I just think, well, for one, after being on the staff team, there seriously need to be more rules put into place as to how it works. And I don't care if somebody's your friend. If they do something wrong, you need to punish them on the staff team. I'm talking staff being friends with other staff. If somebody's doing something wrong, you need to talk to them about it.
Mm-hmm.
That was... So, doing things like... maybe possibly restarting the staff team.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with. Or like Alpha said, holding people accountable more.
Yes.
And I want to say, when I say that, I don't just mean old staff, because there were I'm telling you, I was probably the worst instance of a staff member you could possibly have.
You know that gif of the guy walking out with the pizza and everything's on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Edo.
That was literally
God.
Edo.
I might have been the fire dude, I don't know. Yeah, that's, there you go.
Move the chat to the bottom of the screen so the background isn't obscured. Yeah, Alpha!
Wait, what?
Graphic design is my passion. Move the chat down so they can see the majesty of...
Oh! Okay, here, wait. Oh, fuck. Shit.
Actually, can I dive into the background of the background? Am I allowed to explain why this is a thing?
Oh, yeah, feel free.
There's a reason to it.
So, no, I'm not throwing shade. I will say it was kind of an inappropriate response, especially given the time period of it. This is an honest-to-God criticism. Don't take this the wrong way. But there was a post made by one of the new MITs that compared the feralcast to reality TV, and that we were against all of feral.heart, which felt great after being just kicked off my horse, kicked in the teeth, and kicked in the dick. I was like, yeah, woo. And now I have taken your statement and made it my own.
There you go.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Birdie.
It's a funny fit.
And considering Alpha's avatar for a long time was a really weird picture of Kim Kardashian, I couldn't help myself.
Okay, let me give you some background. I made this Discord. I never realized I made it this early. I made it in October, during No Mod October, and I joined Feral Community at the time, but I didn't really know what the fuck was happening. I literally joined when I was in another country, and I just kind of sat there for a while, and I never changed my profile picture, and it was this weird-ass photo of Kim Kardashian making a face. I felt like it represented me very well, so I just kind of kept it, and eventually I changed to this ugly-ass cat thing that I feel represents me even better.
It's a beautiful cat! What are you talking about?
True, it's a good photo. I feel like it represents... It's pretty fucking funny. So I'm never changing my avatar or anything again, or if I do, it's only to that Kim Kardashian face. So
Here I am,
Not
changing
gonna
my
lie,
avatar with the changing of the seasons.
Yeah, I thought because of that profile picture change and the completely different energies you had on forum as opposed to Discord, I thought you...
Were you the one that mentioned
Where's
that?
the quote? Where's the quote?
Oh, there's a
Brown
quote.
Wolf Brown Wolf Alpha and
Kim Kardashian
Alpha are two completely different.
They really are.
Oh man, I hope I find it. No.
Actually, there was a kind of a question posed that I wanted to get to. Now we can't because it's a lull. It's from Not a Heretic, our Twitch representative. Would you care? Fuck me in the ass, Jerry. Would you compare what FH is doing now as a worse version of what World of Warcraft did? Only instead of doing nothing to keep old players in the game like World of Warcraft, Feral Heart is doing things that actively or indirectly push players away.
I have no idea what happened with World of Warcraft. Never been involved in it.
Basically, what the thing with I can kind of get it because Warframe is the same issue. You finish everything and then there's nothing worth doing. There is no true end game, so there's nothing to keep you there. There's nothing really to go towards. It's just an eternal growth.
And you're saying things are happening that are pushing players away on top of that.
For Feral Heart, yeah.
Okay, I would say yes, but I don't think those things are intentional. No matter how much we may disagree with them, there's certain things happening on staff. While they don't mean it to be intentional, it's still pushing people away.
I'd say in terms of certain individuals, well, what it's been directed at, I'm certain they'd want to push me away. I'd push me away too.
Oh, I want to push you away.
I'm gonna push you over.
Now with your
Get outta here.
twiggy ass arms.
Alp, you don't get to say anything, man. We could push you
Shut
over.
up, sorry,
Yeah,
111
sure.
midget. You fucking
You
manlet.
could both like sit on me and kill me.
Hot. Anyway.
Oh,
Fuck, I had a train of thought and then...
turning into Ito.
It was a chaotic balance change in my players. Yeah, probably more that, but at the same time, that's potato, whatever the fucko. I'd agree with you, Ito, but I will say the people mentioned in that fucking announcement, Raz made it that doesn't apply. Because they obviously don't want us there, here, whatever. In terms of pushing players away, I guess that would just be an incompetence thing. And I mean that word. I don't mean it in a mean way. I'm meaning it in a factual way.
I get you.
I'm reiterating because we don't want more misconstruction.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off right there because Heretic just brought up a fantastic point. With the new expansions, they were focusing more on mechanics and design that simplified it for new players while doing nothing that brought any challenge for old players except a raid. That's something
That's a big point.
in the game right now itself that is also happening because we're focusing so much on, how do we bring new people in, that we're not focusing on, what's going to keep the old people here.
Especially when the old people are the only people in the game, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't. I had this exact conversation with someone many years ago, and I'm now having a Vietnam flashback about it. But you cannot toss out your old customers for the sake of new ones, because
Especially reliable ones.
The old ones are reliable and consistent, and you need the consistent people. You can't toss them out in favor of new ones. Other coin, new ones for the sake of the old. There has to be a balance struck, and there isn't one. I mean, apart from updates, the thing that's keeping people here is, well, the people. And if you're not really providing a great environment for people to thrive, then, well, people are just gonna leave. I mean, with the new Impressive World thing coming out, if it's not already come out,
which looks amazing.
It does. Unreal Engine is unreal. I'm sorry, I just had to. But with stuff like that coming out, even stuff like Cereal Soup is a bit of a competitor. Cereal Soup has its own issues, so I don't think it's ever going to truly overtake Feral Heart in terms of history or even current player counts, really. Although I haven't really ever checked because, well, you can't really check. Well, you can for Feral Heart, but you can't check what maps they're all in. So you can't tell if they're actually all in the public ones or if they're like in a private one, which is a shame! I missed that tab! But I digress. Feral Heart can advertise all they want and change whatever to bring in new players, but if they physically can't join, then your changes mean jack shit.
Very true.
And I do... And I have this thought, Wolves, like... Yes, Roblox games will overtake Feral Heart. Let's all move there. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. Roblox is unironically kind of fun.
I've never played Roblox in my life.
We're playing.
Play games like that.
When you move to LA, we're playing.
Yes.
Anyway, something ban people for signing. That's a man. Don't even say that. Don't give someone an idea. I don't think any of current staff would do that, but just that's not a pleasant thing to think about. Isn't that the game where they had pit? And moving on. Anyway, hold on. I had a train of thought, and it's almost. Oh yeah, there it is.
We got the Edo disease.
That they're gonna add like additional verification that's ultimately unnecessary to registration. I've spoken to the person behind the Moses account, so he will hopefully not be doing more of what he did. Yes, Edo. I have. Shut the fuck up, Edo. Anyway. Hopefully
while we're on that topic,
even
as somebody, no, it's okay. As somebody who was not involved whatsoever in podcast at the time or what happened on the forums afterward, can I just say, looking in on that, this podcast had nothing to do with the spam that went on the forums after people
really did.
lost their minds.
Oh my god,
yeah.
I literally am not even kidding. When all of that happened, like the quote-unquote riot that happened...
These two lost their shit that it was happening. They were so bad.
I felt literally in a Dunkin' Donuts. And I
think I took a nap.
I was like...
Where were you when Feral.heart fell apart? Like,
yeah, honestly. I was like, oh my god. It was fucking hilarious, I'm not gonna lie. But I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, oh my god. Like... Oh, I was mad.
There is, to answer Bert, there is a reason for the registration that I remember is a good reason. I'm sorry I can't provide it, but it was a damn good reason, and I can't remember it now, but I'm hoping with the return of the source code with changes that can be made that we're not going to have to worry about registration much longer.
Good. I figured Raz was adding some sort of VPN protection.
Oh, I fucking hope not.
I figured that's what he was doing, that's why it was down.
Yeah,
but it's been down for so long that I'm not sure.
Forums is just a fictional zip file.
Honestly.
Should they implement Russian verification in order to register? Not even Putin would allow me to play this game. What are you talking about?
God, I wish they fucking banned this in Russia.
Please.
What's the country where all people are banned?
All people are banned?
Isn't it Brazil? Do you guys remember that?
No.
Oh. I'll find out.
What are you talking about?
Do you not remember there something happened on accident and all people from this one individual country were banned? It was a while ago.
I vaguely remember something like that.
I think it was Brazil, but I couldn't
be really wrong. It was something that happened on the forums. I didn't give a shit about the forums.
Oh yeah, Brazilian people were stalking Raz.
Oh.
That's what it was.
Brazil! I know it was Brazil.
Brazilian people just might have been person or people, they were just stalking Raz for some reason.
That's so weird. Yeah, I didn't hear about stalking, but I knew it was Brazil. Something happened with Brazil.
I've never heard of this. Interesting.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of the VPN thing just because, like, okay, this is something that's this is also going to kind of tie into the ads. I know they're a necessity for the game currently, and they will be till the end of time itself. But I personally use an ad blocker. Sorry, ban me on Feral.heart because I don't want to risk accidentally clicking. I'm very controlled. I no longer have the spazzy hands I had in 2014 where I bricked my computer because I clicked on a pop-up. But yeah. I keep that for security reasons. Safety in my computer. And I've been considering getting a VPN for the exact same reason. And that's why a lot of people use VPNs as well.
VPNs are not a bad thing inherently. Like, I've
They're
used
not.
VPN.
And I can understand why because of what's happened that they'd maybe get rid of it, but at the same time, I have to disagree. Because, okay, you want us to not use ad blockers. Okay, your pop-up thing doesn't entirely work, by the way. I don't know how you're gonna fix it, but I can still use my ad blocker on the login page.
Oh.
Just a heads up. But I don't it's weird to me that they're asking quote unquote, for us to continue to get rid of security measures for our own computers for the sake of a dumb animal game. That's, to me, I don't like that because, I mean, most kids won't be using a VPN anyway. Most of them will just be using their own IP for multiple accounts and trolling that way.
Oh, never mind. Continue.
I do think that a VPN on the game, most people probably that use one for whatever reason on the game, they're usually have malicious intent because definitely I think
speaking on continue. I'll wait.
I prefer that VPNs actually be banned, even though some people definitely will not be able to play. For the better, yeah, it's a good security measure. A lot of things do that. But I understand, yeah, it's very annoying and it's inconvenient for a lot of reasons.
I agree.
And
going off of what Birdie said, the porn games that would pop up all happened around the same time for everybody.
I never had that. Well, I probably wasn't around.
Thank God.
Honestly.
Anyway, Django, what were you gonna say?
I always liked how whenever anyone complained about porn ads, they were met with, "Oh," as Wildcat just put it, "ads are based on your search history." Like, no, it's fucking not these ones. You think little Shirley is looking up hardcore lolly hentai? No.
Okay. Not. Yeah. And funny story about the ads actually. Back when I first started getting involved as a little wee kid, first tried to download the game, saw too many advertisements, clicked on one. The computer that I first downloaded the game to does not run, has not run for about 8 years now, because little baby Eno decided to click on an advertisement.
That's funny.
And I don't know what it did.
Because the first time I tried to download items, I installed a virus. I was like 11.
I mean, something with that, I think a good solution, I'm sure this could be worked out. Just don't have ads on the main forum page or the download page. Like, deactivate AdFly for that one, leave it up for the others. Just to make it a little easier on the stupid fucking kids that play this game still.
I bet the reason why it hasn't been disabled is because that probably brings the most money to the server. It probably is the most ad revenue.
It's still...
I know, it's not good, but...
I've never used the internet in my life, officer. I don't know how this hentai got on my door. But yeah, that's just something I'm never gonna agree on. There's never gonna be a good solution for it. Unless you donate to the Feral.heart Patreon!
Yeah! Get exclusive content when you donate $5.
You can download the Feral.heart dog sex mod if you join the $10 a month tier.
God.
Lucius is talking. Everyone shut up.
Lucius is talking.
Oh, wait, Lucius, can I share the name of the server that we share?
Yeah.
Lucius, is that okay with you?
Oh my god.
You understand the stream is like delayed by a little bit.
Oh,
actually, no, it's Alpha's internet.
Yeah, blame my internet.
Lucius, adopt me. Oh, hot men ads! reminder that if you make sex mods for Feral.heart, you're disgusting.
Oh God, why do people do that?
Also, Vortex, I don't know if you're still here. Has anything been done about the sex harem roleplay things that are going on?
I'm sorry, what?
I wish I stuttered, but I did not.
No, I genuinely didn't hear you. I was stuffing my face with noodles. Continue.
To put it briefly, there's these male-dominated, quote-unquote, role plays where there are literal sex slaves as a role and a rank, and they're publicly-ish advertised. And I don't know about you, but that's not very PG-13 to me.
God, see, this is why I wasn't a good staff member. I didn't even know this was going on.
This is a recent thing. I didn't even know what was going on. It was only until the last podcast, I want to say, and Blue had said something about putting it to the other staff, and I want to say that there was some response given by somebody that they couldn't do anything because it was private, which to me is bullshit. Because I do distinctly remember someone reporting bad behavior in a group chat, and then a staff member told them that they were a snitch and that they shouldn't report on people in group chat, which is great. That was many years ago, though, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure anyone nowadays had said something specific.
It's still not a good precedent.
No, not at all.
Let the kids
say
gay and fuck. Oh, say gay! Oh! The kid's gay. Oh, the kids say fuck.
God.
I'm still surprised that people were banned for saying gay and local.
I am too. That doesn't seem right. Like, I feel like they would have to be using it in a negative context.
I never heard anything about that either. Man, I'm so involved.
You know, you're behind.
Someone in my pack tried Feral.heart mating. Someone in my pack tried to tell me that it wasn't ERP.
No, Hunter, it is not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because several of the staff are LGBT themselves. It is not a gay word. I have tried haichu. It's not a banned word. Shut up, Django.
It's not a gay word.
Oh, that's not what I meant. But have I tried haichu? Yes, I have. The place I work sells. It's a type of candy.
I was gonna say, isn't that candy? I have never
I
tried
it. That was a dog treat.
A dog treat.
Yes. I was like, hey, my store sells that too, but
Perfect
I don't
for
think
you.
you should be. Fuck you, you stupid fucking animal. See, now I'm insulting Ito, so my thing about being an adult is now completely
let's not.
Oh, it's so bad! Why?
That was fantastic! Yes, I'm completely fine! That's your mother!
That is not good publicity. Oh my god.
You can get good publicity now?
Honestly, at this point, who the fuck knows?
Anyway, on the banned word thing, I'm not entirely sure myself. I'd hope it's not a banned word. I don't think it's a banned word, but as there's no official blacklist, whitelist, or whatever for fucking words you can or can't say, well, you can or can't say.
Yet, as far as we know. I'm sure something is being worked on.
Yeah.
Because that was a big...
I hope so. Okay, guys! Feral.heart. I thought that was the first one said feralcast.
I thought it did too, I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, no, the original did say feralcast.
It did, yeah.
No, it's feral.heart.
Oh my god.
Both are accurate. Both are accurate. Reddit did not find me. You may laugh at unfunny.
Oh my god.
There does
Bird
need to be
is-
a list. It does.
And God, I keep apologizing and then completely going back on it, but
Fine.
revealing more things that shouldn't be fucking revealed. Good job, Ito. Pat on the back. There have been several Jesus Christ, Starlight. Okay. There have been several conversations about what to do in terms of swears. And one of the things when it comes to swears is, and I'm saying this now because I'd like, if the staff does listen to this, for them to hear your guys' opinion on it, is in several of the places that the players live that occupy the feral heart population, different swears are seen differently.
Yes, that's
So
obvious.
there are certain swears. One of the things we had discussed is swearing but kept to a minimum, where only certain words are allowed to be said.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to swearing, if you just open the door to all of it, you're open the doors to some other things too that you don't want coming around a community like us that are already starting to wake their way in from the looks of this chat.
Honestly.
But the issue is, like, take the UK and America for example. Several people that were asked see bitch as a much, much worse swear word than fuck, or vice versa, or some see wanker worse than something else. Am I allowed to say this on here? Are we allowed to do this?
Fuck.
Oh, good. Thank God. But okay, I mean, just don't show up on the stream. Good.
Oh, fuck.
But
Aww.
no, not
I like that one. I'm pinning that.
But yeah, that's so I'd like to hear your guys' opinion on that. Do you think it would be better to just let all swears be released, let all the kids say it? Or do you think it would be better to try and find a system
I think
where
all
some are allowed
swears should be
I
released.
think a system, because I'm saying, because it's going to be subjective no matter what, and a system is just going to needlessly complicate things more than already has been, and I also don't entirely trust some of the staff to enforce it to the letter or to their own whims, whether that's good or bad. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, let the kids say fuck.
What I think
Fair enough.
should happen is to argue the fact that some nations or cultures see certain curses worse than others, is that I think by joining the game, you need to follow the rules that are in place. So if there is a guideline to which what curses are allowed and which are not, blah, 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 they should be required to follow that regardless of who they are and where they come from.
I'm glad. I agree with you. That's how I took on it too.
Because by joining the game, you have agreed to follow set rules that are in place for a reason. If I join some forum or whatever in, I don't know, Zimbabwe, and I'm not allowed to say hell, but I can say fuck, then I need to follow that.
Doesn't matter how ridiculous you think it is.
Yes, it's a precaution, and I feel that that argument against it is just inappropriate. Not inappropriate, it's just flawed, I would say. Because regardless, like, it even, the same thing with law. Like, if you're joining a game and you're not allowed to be under 13 in the United States, let's say, but you're from the UK, then are you really allowed to join it? Like, I feel like it's a good argument, and there could be a lot of ways to go with it, and whether or not it applies is a important issue.
I agree.
One that should be discussed with the community.
That is another thing. Staff needs to, as we've said before, talk more with the community on these decisions, because changes for the game, I know we've said there's certain things that the community would not like, but in the end turned out to be beneficial.
Definitely.
There needs to be either mass discussion or some kind of a thing. Post a thread that is specifically for discussing this and talk about ideas. Updates and patch things don't need to be discussed specifically in the staff rooms itself. They need to be discussed publicly where people can critique them, say, hey, I know 100 different people that would completely leave the game if you do this. We should probably not do it, even though I may like it. myself. And basically what Tversky is saying is so all swears but no slurs, I'd
yes,
say.
I agree. I
Oh
think I agree.
yeah, I wouldn't even include a slur as a swear. I mean,
I can
unless
see
it's not
that. Yeah.
feral.heart rules.
But that's very tricky because what if someone thinks bitch is a slur for some reason? Like again, it all
And
depends.
some people do.
Yes, so that's why I'm kind of more towards allowing all swears.
What if feral.heart had a no. No. No.
no.
No. No. Do you think the word frick is a better swear than hell or equal of hell?
I don't think frick is a
the
swear.
worst swear known to the worst swear to mankind. That is a word that you should never ever utter. That is a word of power. That is a word that no mortal man can use. That
It
is the language of the
legitimately
gods.
makes me shiver when I hear somebody use that word.
Wait,
Just like that.
wait,
Hmm?
frick? Like
What's up?
or fuck?
Oh, frick. I knew somebody
you're
who
being.
used to use
Oh my
it.
god, I'm retarded. Sorry.
I'm being sarcastic, you fucking
no, I knew
Neanderthal.
you were, but I didn't know Ito. I was like,
No, I physically, it makes me cringe when somebody uses it, because I knew a guy who wanted to go into the military, but he never swore. I'm not saying that's a
really?
precursor for going into the military, but he'd say frick about everything. So
Aw.
you're telling me if something happens to this dude, he's like, oh, frick my finger.
Frick my
Like,
finger.
You're gonna get made fun of.
God dang it. Or no, gosh
Gosh
darn it.
My sister just made me veggie rolls, and there's soy sauce everywhere. I'm sorry. Thank you. This is just like a thing with streams I'm in. My sister just walks in and gives me. Anyway, frick you. Oh, what about moist? Moist isn't a swear word. It's an uncomfortable word.
I can
Moist
go.
just makes me think about food, man. Moist
Yeah.
brownies.
Moist Ooh. Ooh. Oh man. Oh, I really want brownies now. Fuck.
Yeah, I deserve them. I shouldn't put in last game. Anyway.
God, all of you are eating. I'm hungry. This isn't fair.
Give her more hugs. I do hug my sister. When she stabs me viciously, please send her. But there was at least one more thing I wanted to get on. Edo, I know you wanted to stay out of this, so this is your forewarning. We're talking about that.
God damn it.
What are we talking about?
That.
Wait. That?
It's your stream. It's your stream. You can bring it up. I'm just not gonna talk on it.
Let me look.
Although at this point, I've talked on so many other things. I said
See,
that
I
I
don't
wasn't
know.
going to.
I don't know enough about it. Like, I know there
have
been ones.
I'm just gonna bring it because didn't someone confirm there was more than one?
I'm sure there are.
I don't remember.
Maybe, I don't know. Or have been.
Anyway.
You know what? I think
I'm
you
gonna
should
bring
word
it up.
it as a question on whether people would agree with it or not, instead of saying there are or there isn't.
Well, we've already said there are, so once I point the
fuck.
question, they're gonna lose their shit. But anyway, I will pose it as a question. How would you guys feel if there were shadow staff members, not officially on the roster, living amongst you under the guise of normal community members? I can hear the drums of war already.
Oh. Dun,
Now
dun,
we just wait.
dun, 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 dun. You have to wait until it gets through.
Yeah. Oh, here she comes.
Big Brother. Oh.
Yes.
KGB. Oh my god.
KGB is being brought up. There. First guy. Some good news and bad news. The good news is you're right. The bad news is you're right. I'm not going to out the person. I know one confirmed shadow mod. They have since been demoted because they got outed.
I will just say, when we say shadow mods, because it was referred to as shadow mods in the last stream, we're not talking about people who left the staff team and still have their powers.
Yeah. We're talking about genuine, not even the staff team knows about these people.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say on it because I only know of... It's so secretive, it's just...
I think it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. This community already has very shaky trust concerning the staff team and Raz at large, and if Raz is making his own little squad of Russian sleeper agents, basically,
especially since
that's
there's
just
no
gonna
limit
kill
as
the
to
game
what
even
they
more.
can do.
Oh, wait, we don't. Okay, never mind. Continue.
There's no oversight. Raz isn't active enough to be proper oversight for the staff team and a bunch of shadow staff members.
And, like, what's the limit? Like, do they follow the same rules as regular staff, or... Like,
what happens
who
if they
says
get
they
overzealous?
can't just ban whoever they want for no reason? Like, you don't know. Like,
I mean,
I
you can
doubt
say
it.
that Raz is careful with who he handpicks.
And
But
I'm gonna say, God.
Sorry.
No, it's me. I keep saying I'm not gonna say something, and then I come out and say more things. But there is a way to keep track of who's misusing their powers and who's not. So in that aspect, if somebody screwing up that majorly, they will get caught.
at the same time, though,
Like
if their
banning,
only
like
oversight
banning
is
somebody to keep them off of feral.heart. I wonder who would do that.
I wonder who would do that. I wonder who would do that.
Yeah.
I still think that that's too much risk for a reward that's not worth jack shit. You already have a staff team that needs to be basically micromanaged, apparently. Why would you just make your job hard? All this does is destroy what little community trust you have left. Because if you distrust them to behave properly that much, that you have an official staff team and they sending people out into the community secretly to watch them until they fuck. I mean, staff already are able to spectate people. I'm personally okay with that. I can think it's a little weird sometimes because it can be very obvious when they're spectating you. Incredibly obvious. But I don't understand. I don't understand why this is necessary. Just have your staff use alt accounts, really. That's all I can really fucking say, and I'll be perfectly fine with it. Because again, we don't know what system they're going off of.
Mm-hmm.
How involved is Raz with these shadow moderators? How high up do their permissions go?
Yeah, like you don't really know. So it is.
And
it's
how
a very
long
blurry,
does it take for him to know?
There are definitely. It's very blurry. There's not much clarification on it, so there's not much say you can do, or have, I should say. So it's.
I'd also like to point out that I think it's kind of stupid that you should introduce the fucking KJB to an animal game for children.
I understand it. I'm not gonna lie. I feel. You know what? I would prefer, instead of them having powers, I would prefer a secret team that would have to monitor the staff and make sure they're actually doing their job.
That I would be completely okay with.
That, if it was that purpose, that would be fine. But the fact that they have abilities to do things without actual staff consent, or the community consent, is just odd. It is literally like a secret police.
And it might sound hypocritical for me to say it, but I want to explain why I'd be okay with secret staff oversight. And actually, if you could cycle people through, that would probably
be better.
Even better.
Because how? No, sorry, nope.
Hmm?
Not talking. I'm not talking. Go ahead.
So, one second.
No, too late. My idea now.
Fuck you. The
Think
reason I'd be
how-
okay with staff to have secret oversight is because already, obviously, Rat,
Yeah.
in the eyes of the community, isn't doing enough as an overseer. And there's obviously already been discrepancies, not just because of the different team setups, but also just because of how the individual staff members can be. I'm not meaning that in a malicious call-outy way. I am stating the obvious.
And I'm just gonna back Django up here and say some of you guys, yes, very much so, were difficult to talk with. No hate, but I'm backing Django up on this one.
Thanks.
Mwah.
Mwah. It would be beneficial to these people to have. If we need to feel like we're being watched at all times, so should you. If someone is looking out for us to make sure that we're all in and all that jazz, staff should be feeling the exact same thing because they should also be on their best behavior.
Or you
They
know what?
also should. What?
Even maybe it doesn't even have to be private. Just don't say what members are involved. Let them know. Let them know they're being watched.
It's just like let's take the analogy of Raz talking about managing employees for a moment. You start with the customers, and every now and then somebody comes into, let's retail for example, every now and then some regional manager will come into your store and see how things are operating without saying who they are.
Yep.
It's
That's
that kind of
very
a thing.
common. That should be expected, honestly.
It's like undercover.
Literally undercover boss.
There you go.
Well, that brings its problems up. Well, I do technically have the powers to provide staff actions, but I'm not allowed to, and there is none here, so it looks like you're fucked, kid. Django will feel that since that's exactly what happened to GMs on Warhammer servers, since they could technically provide help that a staff member could, but they weren't allowed to. That was more so a thing of roles and their restrictions. This is just the secret team. All they're meant to do is provide oversight for staff. They do not have powers apart from observation.
Or what it should be, rather.
Yeah. Absolute power corrupts. Absolute, yes.
Yep.
Yes, it does, Monocat. And we have seen that on this very game. I'm not going to even bother naming individuals because we really already know.
Edo, I hate you! Oh, that makes me laugh. Fuck.
What's up, feral.heart Stasi?
A what?
What's a Stasi?
Stasi? I do not know.
It sounds like an Eastern European thing. You'd know it.
Fuck.
Yeah, you took AP Euro.
What's a Stasi?
Stasi.
The Ministry for State Security.
Oh my
It's the German secret police!
God, I didn't know that. I feel so dumb.
Alright, we keep getting in trouble for comparing stuff to things like this. We need to stop.
I'm not comparing
we're
them to
not.
anyone!
No, I'm not talking to
He's
you.
just
I'm not
saying
talking
that
to
this
you.
is-
I'm
he's just
saying
saying
you,
this is-
good sir, in the chat.
He's not
I see
comparing
you.
staff to it, he's just saying that's what we're suggesting, I'm pretty sure.
No, yeah, that's what.
Even okay, let's just not compare anybody
Yeah.
to certain things. We should be safe.
There is no war in Bossing Say, nothing happened in Team.
There is no war in Bossing Say.
There is no war in Bossing Say. There's the mentality that hasn't left the fucking forums. That everything is fine.
Yes,
Everything is
I've read
okay.
Warrior Cat. I didn't miss it, Phantom.
I
All
have read
Mr.
Warrior Cats
Question.
when I was a
Huh?
young child. I don't remember how old I was. Probably like 10.
What was Doe's question? Do
Have you
you
read
want
Warrior
ibuprofen?
No, have you read
No.
Warrior Cats?
Oh, sadly, yeah. It's just like, do I want ibuprofen?
I've read all of the original books up into the battle between Dark Forest and Star Clan back in like 8th grade. That's it.
I read them forever ago. I don't even remember what I read and what I didn't. All I
That
know
was
is I
what
read
first
them.
got me into drawing. Was
damn.
drawing out warrior cats.
Spoiler alert, I read up until Firestar died.
Oh, dude, same.
Oh, fuck.
Very nice.
No, I mean died.
Oh, no, I know.
He's gone. He's dead. He's fucking gone, dude. He's
That's
not
the same-
coming back.
That's the same book I was okay.
He's fucking dead, chief.
Rip.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm shaking
yeah.
and crying.
Yeah, if y'all could do me a favor and actually like ask more people about like this secret oversight thing and what other members think of the shadow staff team in like feral neighborhood or whatever, or other feral heart related
Wherever,
discords,
yeah.
it will not be allowed on the forums, which is why I'm not saying go there.
Yeah.
Because the forums is a cesspit.
Oh.
Am I wrong?
Read Warrior Cats. It's
Right.
honestly interesting. It's not bad. It's for a younger audience, but it's not horrible.
Aaron Hunter is a series of women. Aaron Hunter gave birth to Raz through their anus.
And Raz works for Disney.
What? No! Alright. So, are we all good, you think?
I think so. I'm ready to end it if you guys are.
Yeah, I'm down. That was.
I
Well,
have
let's
to-
keep it short. We did 2 hours again. God damn it.
Oh my god, I know.
That was not short at all. I mean, I'm sorry we're not gonna do questions.
I know, I feel bad. We're sorry, guys.
We did questions the whole time, you idiots.
Okay, no,
No, I
the
mean,
voice
like-
calls.
Like calls, yeah.
Unbelievable. Terrible
Fuck
host.
you, Ito. Brick.
Frick you.
Brick.
Frick.
Brick.
Frick.
Brick!
Wait, I know how to end
No.
it. I know how to end this.
Brick.
Not a heretic.
Do
Now, a
your
message
thing.
from our sponsor.
Do your thing, buddy.
Hold on, wait, I'm doing matrices. Okay. Hey
Oh,
there, do
matrices.
you want to know about Twitch Prime? Oh, you may be asking, what's Twitch Prime? Let me tell you, when you connect your Amazon account to your Twitch account, you can get one free sub to any streamer on Twitch every month. A Twitch Prime subscription functions just like a normal sub, with the streamer getting $4.99. Yep, along with that, get yourself some Twitch loot. With Twitch Loot, you can go ahead and get yourself some exclusive Twitch gear and your favorite games. And until August 30th, you can get yourself some Fortnite skins with Twitch Loot. So go ahead, grab your Amazon account, grab a family or friend's Amazon Prime account, and link your Twitch account today.
Sweet.
Gorillas
that was
fucking sucks.
that was fucking beautiful. I guess
Gorillas
that's
is
it.
fucking overrated and I can't stand listening to them.
I've
who
never
is?
listened to a single Gorilla song.
Gorilla.
Good.
Honestly, Gorillas isn't
Don't
bad.
waste your time. Shut up, woman! Femoid.
God.
And, yeah. I mean, closing statements?
Penis.